All right, let's take a look at another example here of a rational function. Here in example B. Now in B, f of x equals 2x minus 6 over x squared minus 16. So let's go ahead and look at factoring. So in the numerator, we got 2 times x minus 6. And we can go ahead and factor that. GCF is 2. So we'll bring that out. That's 2 times x minus 3. So we break it down. And of course, x squared minus 16, this quadratic factor, has 2 linear factors, the difference of squares, x minus 4 and x plus 4, being the 2 linear factors of x. Now, unlike our last example, we don't have any common factors. So no common factors exist, so it doesn't reduce or simplify any. Now, as we go to talking about the key characteristics, right, there are no wholes. All right, and the reason for that is there's no common factors. So remember, the zeros of our common factors will lead us to the location of the wholes in our graph. So this one has none. So no common factors, no wholes. Now vertical asymptotes. Yeah, we have vertical asymptotes. We have 2 of them in this example. And remember, how do we find the vertical asymptotes? Again, which equation of vertical lines that shape our graph. And remember, they come from the zeros of your remaining denominator factors after you've reduced. And of course, our zeros of our denominator, right, we have x minus 4. X minus 4 equals 0 and x equals 4. So 4 is a 0. And that's a location of vertical asymptote. And x plus 4, it equals 0 and x is negative 4. So we have 2 vertical asymptotes, x equal to 4 and x equal to negative 4. There are 2 vertical asymptotes. Now with that said, we can begin to graph, right, and sketch this graph, get a picture of this graph. Let's go ahead and build the x and y axis. So at 4 and negative 4, I'm going to plot those locations. I'll put it in blue. All right, so over here at 4 on the x-axis, I'm going to draw on this imaginary vertical line. All right, and then we're going to do the same thing over here at negative 4. And these, again, are asymptotes. These imaginary vertical lines, they're going to help shape the graph, this rational function. So let's go ahead and write in those 2 locations. Now with that said, we also know at this point, we know the domain of this graph. So we know all the real number values of x that are going to make up the graph of this function. So remember, the undefined values are your wholes, which we didn't have any, and the vertical asymptotes. So at negative 4, right, and 4, that's where we're going to have a break on the x-axis. So let's go ahead and write that down. So our domain is, again, all real numbers x except negative 4, or 4. So negative infinity, negative 4, that'd be an interval of domain values, all x values less than negative 4. Or all the numbers greater than negative 4 and less than 4, right, this middle area. Or all x values greater than 4, 4 to infinity. So there's a list of all the real number values of x going to make up this function graph. All right, let's go ahead and look at the horizontal asymptote. So the horizontal asymptote, remember, exists if the degree of our numerator polynomial is less than or equal to the degree of our denominator polynomial. So we have to compare the degrees. So let's go compare the degrees. So looking at the numerator polynomial, all right, we have a degree of 1, right? It's a linear polynomial. And I'm going to call n, I'm going to abbreviate. N is a numerator degree, so that's 1. Again, the exponent leading term, it's degree 1 polynomial. And m, our denominator, that's a quadratic, degree 2. And as we compare those 2 numbers, right, we have n less than m. So last example, we had n equal to m. Well, if n is less than m, we have a horizontal asymptote at line y equals 0, which is the x-axis, right? The x-axis is going to be a horizontal asymptote. So let's go ahead and draw that in. So we'll shade it in here in blue, and we'll dash it in. It's not part of our graph, just shapes it. So there's y equals 0, the x-axis. Now, will our function cross the x-axis? So that'd be one thing to look at before we go any further. All right, let's go ahead and talk about, are there any intercepts? All right, intersection with the horizontal asymptote. All right, and to find that, we take our function, which is what, 2x minus 6 divided by x squared minus 16, and we set it, what, equal to the asymptote, which is 0. All right, so when does this function equal 0? Well, we multiply both sides by x squared minus 16, right, which could show our work here. Go ahead and do that. We get 2x minus 6 equals 0, which means 2x equals 6, which means x equals 3, right? We divide out the 2 on both sides. So yeah, will it cross through the x-axis? It will, at 3. So we'll have intersection at 3, 0. So we won't go ahead and put in that point. So right here is a point on our graph, and it'll cross through the asymptote at that location, right there at 3 on the x-axis. So again, that's an x-intercept point too that we just found. And speaking of that, let's go ahead and look at finding those intercepts. All right, so remember, x-intercepts, anytime we're trying to find them algebraically, it's when our function equals 0, which we just found. So we already know when f of x equals 0 in this problem. That's when x equals 3. So we just found the x-intercept. No need to do the algebra again, right? We've got our function equals 0 over there. Now, how about a y-intercept point? Does it have a y-intercept? To define that algebraically, right, we let x equal 0. We'll find the function value at 0. What does it equal? Well, f of 0, as we plug in 0 for x, that's 2 times 0 minus 6 over 0 squared minus 16. Well, that simplifies to negative 6 over negative 16, which simplifies to what? 3/8 as we divide out the common factor 2. So at 3/8 of 0, 3/8, right, we have a y-intercept point. So we can, if we want, we can go ahead and plot that point. And we want to, we can put it in blue and put it in black. I'll put it in black. Let's go ahead and plot this ordered pair right here on the y-axis. Right here above the origin, we have a y-intercept at 0, 3/8. So again, with that, we need a couple other points to get an accurate graph. So let's find some more points. Now, let's do one on the left of the vertical. How about negative 5? It'd be a quick, easy one to get, right? Let's find out where we cross this graph at negative 5. We know negative 5 is in the domain. So let's do that together. What would f of negative 5 equal? Well, that'd be 2 times negative 5 minus 6 divided by negative 5 squared minus 16. Well, that's negative 10. Negative 10 minus 6, negative 16. 25 minus 16, that's what, 9? I got negative 16 ninths, which is what, negative 1 and 7 ninths. All right, we want to go ahead and write that as a mixed number. But there's our point. So when x equals negative 5, we have a y coordinate negative 16 ninths, negative 1 and 7 ninths. So I'll go ahead and plot that point right here. So we go back to our graph here at negative 5 on the x-axis. Right here below that, slightly below that, we're going to have this intersection here, or this point, I shouldn't say intersection, this point here on the graph of negative 5, negative 16 ninths. And that's enough at that point to graph. So we know the horizontal asymptote, right, it's going to flatten out at y equals 0, going to pass through that point, going to go vertical at x equals negative 4, can't touch that. And we know it doesn't touch y equals 0 here on the left side because we've already seen the only point intersection with the asymptotes at 3. And then we can do the same thing over here. So this graph here, with it going vertical, right, as we're coming on this graph here, we can go ahead and get a sketch of this graph. Right, we can go ahead and graph it. Right, we'll go ahead and look at a sketch here, this middle area, based off what we found already with those points. Now we need to find another point over here. Let's do 5. What happens when we have an input of 5? So let's do that down here. What's f of 5? When x equals 5, what does y equal? So that would be 2 times 5 minus 6 over 5 squared minus 16. 10 minus 6 is 4. 25 minus 16, 9. So I got, what, 4 ninths? So 5, 4 ninths is a point on this graph. So we could plot that point, 5, 4 ninths right here. It's a point which our graph will cross through here. And now that allows us to graph in this side over here. So we know it goes vertical at x equals 4. We know it flattens out. It won't ever touch the x-axis because of the asymptote. Right? It doesn't intersect there because, again, we all know intersections at 3. But there it is. There's our graph of this function, just using those characteristics, that information that we found.